You're listening to The Balancing Act with your favorite radio personality, India.Arie.
Hello. Welcome to The Balancing Act, everyone. Thank you. I am your host, India.Arie. I always tell my kids, the more you know, the more you grow. I believe my guests will agree when I say the more you know about your mind and body, the more empowered you will feel about making decisions to heal and take preventative measures that will help you grow and nurture your mind, body, and soul. My next guest, Madam CJ, we're going to be talking about uterine fibroids. According to womenshealth.gov, about 20% to 80% of women develop fibroids by the time they reach age 50. Fibroids are most common in women in their 40s and early 50s. Not all women with fibroids have symptoms. So we're going to be talking to Madam CJ about her experience and how she's able to heal herself from fibroids and also help other women who are dealing with the same thing. So everyone say hello to Madam CJ.
Thank you for having me. I am Madam CJ. I am a chart-topping singer-songwriter, sensual dance, fit instructor. I am a certified strategic self-care ambassador through the Self-Care Agency. And I am a women's wellness entrepreneur. I own and operate Divine Clementine Bath and Body and Hattie Evelyn's Movement Apothecary. I actually founded Divine Clementine Bath and Body because of my own uterine fibroid diagnosis. I was diagnosed in 2008 with uterine fibroids. And I started educating myself and working on them naturally in 2009. And I found out a lot of information about fibroids. Fibroids are an estrogen dominant condition, and they come from unhealed trauma, unpacked trauma. The trauma can be anywhere from sexual to physical violence to financial, just stress, unprocessed emotions, little pockets of pain. And also Louise Hay says that the root cause of fibroids is a blow to the feminine ego. What happened in my mind was when I found the lump on my abdomen, I knew exactly what it was. Like I instinctively knew because I've always paid attention to my body. And so when I was diagnosed, I was shattered because I'm thinking, I'm gonna have to get a hysterectomy. Yeah. They're gonna have to cut on me. And I'm not doing it. I'm thinking that is my only option. However, when I talked to my sister about it, because my mother had fibroids and she had a partial hysterectomy. My sister had fibroids and she had to have an emergency myomectomy because one of them had ruptured. And then she went to the hospital and then turned around and had to have the myomectomy. But when I told her about it, she said, don't get that surgery. She said, because your lifestyle, you won't be able to be down for 6 weeks. And you don't have anybody to come and, take care of you for 6 weeks. And I'm like, okay, she was right, So what I started doing was I was talking about it to somebody at my job and a young Black woman medical student. And she told me about Dr. Askari because she had been apprenticing under Dr. Askari. And Dr. Askari was a naturopath. And she had Aisha Faiza, Dr. Herb's sister. She used to carry her products. Dr. Askari carried her products. And one of her products was called Fibroid Freedom Tonic or Fibroid Free Tonic. So I held on to the flyer. She bought me the flyer at work the next day, and I held on to that flyer. And I remember I said, okay, at the time, my budget was just sporadic. I was doing part-time on-call banquet work. So I had to wait for my income tax to come for me to get the whole program. But I got the whole program and I started working on it then. And I've never really had horrible period symptoms. I can remember every horrible period I've had since having a period starting at age 11. So these fibroids actually started to form around age 15, 16. Started doing the program and recognized and saw that there was no need for me to have surgery. Now, I didn't know as much about the emotional component then as I do now.
So I wanted to kind of shift and talk about your soap that you were able to develop.
She gave me a class, a soap making class. And when she offered that class to me, I got so emotional because I knew that it would change my life. But I wasn't sure how it would change my life. I just knew it would change my life. So the soap was the first thing that I started to learn how to make. And I started selling it, and people would give me great, great feedback on the soap. So the soap is actually made from goat's milk and coconut milk. I have two versions. We also make a goat's milk bath soak and a coconut milk bath soak. And that's basically where you pour that in the water and you soak. And we also make a body butter. But all of the products contain ingredients that are xenoestrogen free. And the soap company was created because skin is the largest organ on your body. And everything that you put on your skin, it eventually seeps into your blood system,
Right.
feeding whatever condition that you have. And I'm a firm believer what you put on your skin matters, what you put in your mouth matters, and what you subject your eyes to and your mind to matters, especially when you healing. Me creating this bath and body product company made me really conscious of everything else that I have in my home. I have to be, because fibroids are fed by environmental toxins and not being able to process the emotions. And a lot of Black women, I believe one of the reasons that we get it is because we are not reading labels. We are doing the hair color. We are doing the relaxers. We are doing the makeup that have the estrogen dominant ingredients in them. They are also called endocrine disruptors. They are hormone. They basically take your hormones off balance.
People say that beauty, like to get to beauty, you have to go through so much pain. And so when you say that about the makeup and the hair, we're all trying to fit into this society standards of what beauty is. And it's killing us.
Exactly.
Internally. Wow. You got to keep going.
And that's why I do not consider, let me go on record and say this. I do not consider my soap company a beauty brand. I consider us to be a wellness brand because we want to educate the Black community, specifically Black women, on making educated choices on buying things that are going to help you feel beautiful, help you feel clean, help you feel grounded, right? And we don't read the ingredients. So what needs to happen is, first of all, we need to know what xenoestrogens are. I've actually written an ebook called Passing Fibroids Naturally, and I'm giving away a free chapter of that ebook that tells you the xenoestrogens and where the xenoestrogens are found in processed foods, in everyday products. And I'm also sharing different solutions for that, right? In that free chapter. Now, people can go to my Instagram page, and that's at The Real Madam CJ, and download that free chapter of that book if they want to get educated on the xenoestrogens and how to proceed without inviting xenoestrogens into the home. But yeah, we get all these, hair colors and perms and makeups and things, and we're not reading ingredients. And they tell you when you first start on your journey to health. I actually started my holistic journey when I opened Whole Foods in Atlanta on Ponce de Leon in 2003. I was a front end cashier, and I was actively seeking healing then before I got that job. And what happened was they put in there was an open house that was in the Creative Loafing. And I saw that open house for Whole Foods. I said, you know what, that's my job. I want to get it. I went and got it. And I started learning from then that if there are more than 5 ingredients on anything that's sold in a package and you can't pronounce any of them, do not buy it.
That has been a conversation before when it comes to nutrition and the things that you put in your body. I mean, if we think of what we put in our bodies, and like I did an episode where I talked about the words we tell ourselves. So what you're putting in your body, and it's related to food, it affects not just like your inner body in terms of your health, but it also affects your mental health as well.
Yes.
So I mean, those are things that we have to address. And I'm glad that I feel that this is a conversation that it has to be ongoing.
Yes.
Like I can't just have you here today
yes.
and be like, oh, well, I'll have you
yes.
here today and not, continue the conversation. Because, one of the things I was talking to my mom about was coffee. So she wanted to know from your perspective, what does coffee do to fibroids?
Caffeine is a xenoestrogen. So therefore, nobody that with any condition needs to be drinking caffeine.
And we're talking about like sodas and everything.
Soda, green tea, coffee. I don't care if it's expensive, $90 a pound coffee. Like, you have to get your hormones balanced and your gut cleaned out before you can start even enjoying it once in a while. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, there was another thing you said I want to say one more thing about. People don't understand that when you're buying animal products, I am not, first of all, let me just say this. I do believe a plant-based diet does help. However, I am an omnivore. And what people don't realize is you don't have to go all the way vegan to heal yourself. What needs to happen is if you thrive with meat or animal protein, you have to be mindful where you buy these things and how they are raised and slaughtered, because that what you put in your mouth affects your mental health.
Yeah.
So I also support people going to halal butchers, kosher butchers, local farmers to buy their meat, because I got some beef in there right now. And I got it from a Black couple. They have a farm. I work the farmer's market every other week where I sell my soap. And I make a conscious effort to buy, if I'm craving beef, I'll buy it from them. It's $7 for a pound. But when I left it in my sink to thaw out, it didn't even have that much blood in it. Thoughtfully considered, thoughtfully raised. When you're talking about halal and how they raise those animals and how they slaughter them, they even say a prayer over their lives before they slaughter them. It makes a difference.
This is very interesting. It's kind of like, what have we been used to? What have we been accustomed to? And it's so hard sometimes to untrain yourself in that type of thinking. So how did you shift your state of mind? It was kind of like a life or death.
Really, Nicki-Marie, I've always been different. I've always been one to go against the grain. My mother raised me to have a mind of my own. I remember her telling me that in the 3rd grade. She said, always have a mind of your own. And I don't know if it's because of my Sagittarian nature, if that is the reason why it didn't take me long to say, okay, I'm not going to do what the group do, because we're known to be innovators and leaders, or if that was just a marriage of that and my mama saying, don't do what everybody else do what you want to do, but I knew that like certain things just didn't feel right for me. Like God as a man, when I'm a child at church and they talk about he, that didn't feel right to me. But I sat there because I had to sit there, but I knew that I wasn't going back to church when I got out of my mama's house.
Wow.
It just certain things I've always been able to listen to my gut and say, you know what, this don't feel right. And I'm not going to ignore it. Some things I have ignored, but for the most part, I think because I don't like to go and do what the crowd does, especially if it don't feel right for me.
Yeah. It's hard. It's still, I mean, I'm speaking from a personal standpoint. Like, it's still hard at times not to follow certain things because, again, it's what I'm accustomed to. But if it's something where it's a matter of life and death, and I have to make the decision to live, I'm going to change my life. If it's something that's not poisoning me, I have to change. It's all about mindset.
That's it.
Like I want to live because I enjoy living. I enjoy the grateful things that happen in life. It's conversations with you or conversations with anyone that is actually putting some resource in my life to help me change. I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful thing to change.
Yeah.
To change my mindset and live longer and live healthier and live a happier life.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So can you outline a little bit of what fibroids are? My mom has said that hers grew to almost like a grapefruit.
Oh yeah.
The size of a grapefruit. And
so
she has had a full hysterectomy.
Oh my goodness. She had a full one?
Yeah.
So what I know fibroids to be are non-cancerous tumors. Sometimes they start off as cysts and they grow. They are fed by, like I said, what we put on our skin, the Dial and the Dove soaps, the Coca-Colas, the Folgers coffee, the Cream of Nature perms, the emotions, the unpacked stuff, that the horrible relationship with the parent figure, the horrible relationship with the partner, the horrible relationship with the religious practice, the job, the horrible relationship with the whoever. That is what they're fed by. And they are basically, they look like white tissue. Like they look like white, huge knots of hardened mucus.
That doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't
and they
sound
don't
good at
feel
all.
good. They don't feel good at all.
What are some of the symptoms that you experienced?
Well, one of the symptoms I experienced early on before I knew I was diagnosed was a period came early, and my period had never come early. It was always on time. One of the other symptoms that I used to have that I eliminated was incontinence. Like I couldn't even drink 8 ounces of water out in public without going to the bathroom on myself as a young woman. Anemia. And the anemia I had was when I first went for a consultation about a myomectomy, the doctor said, I won't even operate on you because your blood is too low. So I would experience dizziness. I would experience chest pains as far as like, instead of abdominal cramps, I would experience chest pains when I was coming on my cycle. Eating ice, which leads to broken teeth. What else? My fingers feeling, numb, cold, easy. That was pretty much the gist of it. I never really had the bad menstrual cramps like a lot of women report. Heavy bleeding is normal for me on my second and or third day for my cycle. So that part really didn't bother me. And I believe it's because I started, as soon as I, could get that tonic in my system and start doing that, I think that had something to do with starting to offset the cramps and all of those symptoms, the heavy bleeding.
Well, where are you at today?
Today, I am thriving, actually. I actually just got my period. It is bright red, which is what women want. A healthy period is bright red from beginning to end. 3 days is a perfect period, but 5 days is a normal, healthy period. I have been passing fibroids since 2018. The incontinence was healed 30 days after I purchased my own Yoni steam seat from SteamyChick.com. That's a Black woman-owned Yoni steam company out in California. I'm actually in her training right now to become a Yoni steam facilitator and teach this art, of steaming to other women.
I'm glad that you're bringing this up because there have been a long list of things that have happened with health, and people are kind of new to certain things that are happening, especially if you're doing surgery or something else. But it's like, what were our ancestors doing?
They were using herbs. My great-great-grandmother was a midwife. And these same herbs that I'm using to heal myself, she used those same herbs. Dandelion been around for centuries. You can go out in your yard and get dandelion right now. Dandelion is a powerful womb healing herb. Red raspberry. All these herbs have been around longer than that white man who invented gynecology. I can't stand it. It makes me so angry. But somebody was telling me yesterday, one of my other artist friends, she was like, we need this passion around this work you're doing.
These are conversations that we need to continue to have with our children. Our children need to have these conversations with their children, and, you know, just to break these generational trauma, generational misinformation. I mean, it's just so much stuff that's out there, but is it really good for you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like what we're saying about the eating, the nutrition behind everything, and what were our ancestors doing? Because half of this stuff that we're doing now, it may not even be the best. The old remedies may need to continue to be the new remedies.
And see, that's the thing. Those old remedies, they aren't, we live in a capitalist society. So those old remedies, their profit margin isn't worth anything to capitalists.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And, you know, just where can people tap into you now if they wanted to?
Well, if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Instagram, and my Instagram page is at The Real Madam CJ, and I'll spell it. It is PHEREALMADAM CJ. That's where I spend a lot of my time. You can find me at the Oakhurst Farmers Market every other Saturday. You can sign up for our email list at Divine Clementine BB, and I'll spell that for you. It's DIVINECLEMENTINEBB, like bathandbody.com. And those two places is where you can find me. I am actually going to share my link tree with you too, India.Arie.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to text it to you now. And but yeah, I would love to continue this conversation with you. I really had a nice time talking about it, and I really feel like young Black women need to know this, because I'm meeting more young Black women in their 20s and 30s that are, you know, getting fibroids, and they are this thing about this shame about talking about the womb and vagina. I am wanting to change the narrative about that. We must have the conversations about female reproductive health.
I'm approaching 38. And, you know, I have always thought, like, what's going to happen now? Like, what's happening to my body between the ages of 38, 40-ish. So, yeah, this is very informative, and I would love to continue the conversation as we should.
Yes, most definitely. Well, I'm 46, so I can definitely tell you some things about, you know, some things that happens in the 40s. And I'm a firm believer that when you empower yourself and take the right steps, certain things you can prevent that they say are supposed to be passed down, you know, generationally or through the blood. I just saw a woman on one of my colleagues' page. She actually started doing womb wellness work on her own because of what her family history was. She empowered herself and just started taking advantage of that to say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of this if that's going to be my journey. And I thought that was so powerful, because we don't practice body literacy, and we need to, because once we do that, we really can control our destiny.
Yes, I love that, and we are gonna end on that note. That's a high point. That's a high note right there. So thank you so much for being here, and I will say to all, make sure that you know more about your body and how you can focus on health and nutrition to change or shift the narrative, basically, of your body, and not just your body, but your mind. Remember, the words that you tell yourselves and the actions that you do are preventative and empowering at the same time. So thank you to Madam CJ, and to all listening. You can follow me at India.Arie_radio on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for listening to today's show.
My name is Britta B, and the name of this poem is Dear Young Woman. Dear young woman, I hope you find you. I hope you find love. I see all the armor you wear. I see all the jewels and gems of wisdom you share. It's okay to shine, ma. It's okay to shine. It's okay to have pride, ma. You don't have to live a lie. Don't let the violence fool you into silence, convincing you that you are not worthy of space and time. You might not know it yet, but you got a multi-dimensional set of eyes looking out for you. Trust that what is meant for you is relying on you to show up. Show up. You can lose your religion, but you will never lose your spirit. Each of your breaths have minds and lives of their own. I doubt we'll ever know the true impact of our presence. What a blessing. Young woman, I wish you enough. I wish you enough time for all of your skills and talents. I wish you more. I wish you more revelations than disrespects and regrets. And I beg you to believe in yourself more than your parents ever did. Carry out your curiosities in spite of the corruptions you experience. You let yourself free when you let yourself forgive. And so when you do, and I know you will, I hope you find you. I hope you find love again. A word that comes to mind for this piece is empowerment. As a poet, I really want to serve as an encouraging voice through my work. And I want this poem to be a reminder that whatever you're going through as a woman, you have the choice to make for yourself on how gentle and kind you are with yourself. So I may be putting this out there as a message for people older than me, but it's also a reminder to myself to treat myself kindly and to be good to myself.